There's some problem with my thing. Okay, and we need the browser, right? So the browser is also here. Zoom, okay. Is my screen visible for everyone? Okay, great, it's visible. It's not visible, guys. What? Yeah, that is surprising. Can you not see my screen? Okay, loading is different, guys. That's on your end. Okay, cool. Here index.js will open, right? Okay. So we'll just talk briefly about what we had discussed yesterday, right? And what are the applications of those things. So we started our class by talking about a few of the important things, which is operators in JavaScript. So we learned that what are operators? Operators are type of constructs in JavaScript, which basically allow us to, do some things with operands, right? When I say operands, it can mean a literal or it can mean a variable, right? So let's say you want to make some change to a variable, or let's say you want to add two variables together or anything, right? For that, we use operators. Okay. So these are called operators and they are of various types, right? Similarly, guys, we have various types of operators, right? So we talked about arithmetic operators. These guys are used to make changes to number-based data types, right? So let's say you want to add two numbers, you want to subtract two numbers, you want to multiply two numbers, you want to find the remainder after division, or even when you want to do exponentiation, right? Raising to the power of. All these things can be accomplished by arithmetic operators. Second, we talked about assignment operators, right? So this is for putting some value. So either you can say put some value or bind, right? So let's say you have a variable and you want to give some value to it. How do you do that? You use assignment operator. So x is equal to 5, let's say, uses this operator and sets the value of 5 in the variable x, right? Yep. So this is assignment operators. Similarly, we have comparison operators, right? Now, this is a different category, and a lot of you yesterday confused this guy with this guy, right? So is equal to and double equal to, right? So this is for comparison. And when I say comparison, it means if you want to check the two values, right? Let's say I have 5 here and I have 5 on the right side. So if I want to check if they are equal, I can use the equality operator, right? So let's just, this screen is shared hopefully with you. Yes, it is. So open the terminal, right? And let's open console. Okay, so let's say let x is equal to 5, right? If I wanted to check, is the value inside x equal to 5? So what I can do is I say x is equal to 5, and it gives me true, right? I'm just placing it inside brackets just for clarity of reading, right? So x is equal to 5 gives me true, right? X is equal to 6 gives me false, right? Similarly, we had greater than operator. Is x greater than 6? No. Is x less than 6? True, right? So these are some of the equality or comparison operators that we use, right? Finally, we talked about another class of operators, which is called logical operators. Okay. So guys, logic basically means true and false, right? So logic is pure. Logic is absolute, right? Either something can be true or something can be false, right? There is nothing in the middle. And to combine these logical expressions, what we know is we know of three operators: and operator, or operator, and not operator. Okay. So again, you know that x is 5, and let's say y is equal to 6 or 7, let me call it. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'll say if later, first I'll say x is greater than y is a false statement, right? Right? X is greater than 7. Right? X is greater than 7. No, 5 is not greater than 7. 5 is not greater than 6 also. So false and false is false. True and false is also false. True and true, when only when two things evaluate to true and you put an and between them, it evaluates to true, right? But with or, that is not the case, guys. If one of them is also true, then also it works. So even if the right hand side is true, it will work, right? If both are not true, right? If both are false, then it does not work, right? Similarly, we know that the not operator basically changes true to false and false to true. So if I say x is greater than y, it gives me true. Okay, 5 is greater than 6. Uska not le liya. So the not of false is true and the not of true is false. Okay. Then basically we went on to another thing where we talked about loops, right? We started talking about loops because you guys were getting bored, and I thought we'll just try out something interesting. But in the quest of that, we have also learned a very important structure or a control structure in JavaScript, which are called loops, right? What are loops? Loops are used to repeat actions multiple times. Okay. So how do we write the first loop that we learned? We learned the for loop, right? For loop runs on number-based conditions, right? So firstly, we have an initialization statement. So let's say I say let I is equal to 0. I put a semicolon. Then I have to put a condition. I'm going to say I is less than 10. And finally, I say I plus plus, which means increment the value of I by 1 in each iteration of the loop, right? And then let's say inside this, I wrote console.log I plus 1 or I, whatever you want to, right? And then I pressed enter, and it basically gave us the counting from 1 to 10. How it is working, we know very well. Pehle it checks, is I 0? Yes, I is 0. It sets I to 0. Then it checks, hey, is 0 less than 10? Is that condition true? Yes, the condition is true. So I go inside, right? Right? Then after I execute whatever is inside these curly braces, I go and increment the value, right? And I can increment it by anything. So here, guys, instead of I plus plus, you could have also said I plus is equal to 2, right? Can anyone tell me by doing this, by doing I plus is equal to 2, how many times the loop is going to run? Can anyone give me the answer? Less than 10 times, 3 times, 4 times. How are you saying this? I'm just informing Newton School people, class is going on. Okay. 9. It will not start from 3. It will always start from I. Guys, ये बात समझ लो, ठीक है? It starts with this value. It checks this and then it immediately goes in. ठीक है? ये statement execute करके it executes this, right? So what is going to happen is first time I is equal to 0. ठीक है? आप you come inside the loop. आपने क्या print किया? 1. ठीक है? You printed 1. Okay. Then you said I plus is equal to 2. Okay. I became 2. 0 plus 2 is 2. Is 2 less than 10? Yes, 2 is less than 10. आप अंदर दोबारा आए, you printed 3. Right? आपने दोबारा 3 में 2 add किया. You added, basically it became 5. Right? And that's how you keep going. So if I press enter, it will print 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. How are you saying 0, 1, 2, 3? Tejaswini? प्रतीक कैसे बोल रहे हो बताओ? Guys, why are you getting confused here? सुनो, बोर्ड दिख रहा है? Can you see this? You'll have to tell me if you see the board. Okay. हमने क्या बात किया? What do we do first? We say I is equal to 0. ठीक है? सिंपल. अरे इंक्रीमेंट बाय 2 छोड़ो ना चिन्ह में भाई, सिंपल सोचो यार, डोंट कॉम्प्लिकेटेड. कंडीशन क्या है? I is less than 10. इंक्रीमेंट क्या है? I'm just making 3 boxes. Increment is 2. Okay. Initially I was 0. It checked. Hey, is initially I was 0. Is 0 less than 10? Say yes or no. Guys, is 0 less than 10? हाँ या ना बोलो. Right? आप अंदर गए. What did you console.log? 0 plus 1 क्या होता है गौरव? What is 0 plus 1? 1. 1 प्रिंट किया. इसके बाद क्या होता है? It goes to the increment condition. कितने से इंक्रीमेंट किया I को? बताओ. 2 से इंक्रीमेंट किया. I is equal to I plus 2. इसका मतलब I क्या हो गया? I2 हो गया. Is 2 less than 10? Is 2 less than 10? 2 is less than 10. Okay. So what do I print? What is I plus 1 or what is 2 plus 1? 3. Okay. Go there again. I plus is equal to 2. What now I becomes? What will be the value, new value of I? 4. Not 3 Pallavi, not 5 Sushil. It becomes 4. Galti mat karo. Mobina kaise bol rahe ho 5? What is 2 plus 2? Is 2 plus 2 5? I was 2. आपने print I plus 1 किया. You are not printing I. You are printing 2 plus 1, which is 3. I 2 था. 2 plus 2 becomes 4. Is 4 less than 10? हाँ या ना? Is 4 less than 10? Yes. So you came in. आपने क्या print किया? 4 plus 1? 5. Okay. अगली बार गए. Now what I becomes? What does I become now? I becomes 6. Is 6 less than 10? Yes. So I printed 7. दोबारा गए, इंक्रीमेंट किया. What does I become now? 8. प्रिंट क्या किया? 9. दोबारा वापस गए. I is equal to I plus 2. What does I become? Is 10 less than 10? Is भाई 11 किसने बोला? Is 10 less than 10? No. So do I enter the loop again? No. Loop is finished. So where is the doubt? Sai, where is the doubt? मोहम्मद भाई क्लियर है? अरे अंकित, what is there to tell? आप चलो अंकित, आप do you want to come and I'll unmute you अंकित. आप करोगे? Ankit, do you want to come on unmute and just explain us? Guys, come on, yaar. What is the doubt? Ask me now. Now you're not writing on the chat. Ankit, Rahul, I'm not able to make any sense out of your statement. ठीक से लिखो या फिर ask me to unmute you. Let's understand this एक बारी में. Clear है? Okay. प्रतीक, क्या clear नहीं है? Exactly पूछो. I'll explain it 10 times, but ask me the exact question. क्या नहीं समझ में आया? Okay, increment was 2. बोलो अंकित आगे. I'll unmute Pratik. I want you to speak. Go ahead, Pratik. I can't hear you, Pratik, if you're saying something. Pratik, I can't hear you. Your mic is not working probably. Pratik, I could not hear you anyway. Rahul, how is that a valid question? आप मुझे एक बात बताओ, for loop कैसे चलता है? Guys, just look here. I is equal to 0. You check is 0 less than 10. Yes, you enter the loop. उस loop के उसके बाद क्या करते हैं? You go to the increment condition. You increment I plus is equal to 2. I becomes 2. Is 2 less than 10? Yes, it is. You come inside the loop. You print 3. Now I was 2. You go again. I is 4. Right? Similarly, you keep going. I becomes 8. Right? 8 plus 1 is 9. You printed that. 8 plus 2 is 10. Is 10 less than 10? No, you don't enter the loop. What is hard about this? See, if I do this, is this making more sense to you? एक plus 1 say, why are we getting confused, guys? Tell me this. Folks, if you want me to move forward, all of you will have to type clear on the chat. Are you clear? If you are not clear, then ask a specific question. I can't assume everything here. Shall we move forward? Okay. Okay, we move forward. Okay. So this is till the point which we learned yesterday, right? Now we need to understand a few more things, right? So what I wanted to cover with you guys today is something called as control statements, right? What does control statement mean? Let's just try to understand. Let me just open the page actually, right? So let's say guys, एक mini project करते हैं, right? ठीक है? The project is like this. If I click on this button, right? If I click on this button, what should happen is it should, let's say, change the color of this box. Okay. Okay. If I click on this box twice, right? If I double click on this box, okay, then it should change the color to something else. Okay. Got it? If I click on this, it should become red. If I double click on this, it should become green. Simple. Hai? Okay. Let's see how we do it. Okay. And then I'll make my point. Okay. So what I'm trying to say here is, hope the screen is visible for everyone. Again, Zoom is causing some problems, guys. Just give me a second. Okay. Anyway, is it fine now? This screen is visible to you, the code screen? Okay, take it. So what I'm going to do is responsive 3 if you remember this is basically what is rendering the UI. These are the boxes, okay, what we have created. On this button, what I have done is on click of this button, right? I'm calling a function jiska name hai click me, right? The name of this function is called click me. Cool. And where is the code for this click me written? It's written inside index.js, right? And where? Yahan pe likha hai, right? It's written here, click me. So I will not touch this code because it has gone up. I will just comment this entirely and I'll write a new click me. Okay. Let's call it function. This is how you write function and you say click me. Okay. right? Inside click me, what I'll do is, what I have to do is I have to first select this, right? How do I select this? I say document dot get elements by class name. What was the class name? I don't remember, so I will copy from here. gridchild2.0. gridchild2 of 0. What this of is, I'll tell you when I teach you arrays, right? But the point is, I say dot style, right? Dot background, and I say, let's say green. Okay. Go to this page, reload, click this, it becomes green, right? What we have done here, let's try to understand again. We are saying whenever click me is called, and where are we saying this? We are saying this in responsive wala file. On click of this button, call click me. Okay. So we say when click me is called, you get that element and its style dot background, you basically set to green. Okay. Everyone understood what happened here? Guys, yes or no? Okay. Okay. Now, what I want to say is, if you double click this, right? If you double click this, then its value, it should become blue, right? Okay. So there are two ways to do this. Okay. The first way to do this is there is something called as on double click also. So I go to responsive 3. So this is on click. There's something called as on db click, right? And in that case, we will call the click me to function, right? Click me to. Okay. And of course, this function it's not written, so we'll write it. So I'll say function click me to. In here, same thing. I'll just copy the same code and I'll say blue. Okay. Go back here, reload the page. Very nice. If you click this once, it becomes green. If you double tap this jaldi, it becomes blue. समझ में आया सबको? ठीक है? So this was the easy bit, right? Now what I want to tell you is, understand this. Will again single click work? Yes. Double click, single click, double click, single click, double click, single click. Got it, everyone? Right? Now, guys, what I want to do is कुछ और interesting सा करते हैं, right? Yes, Milind, you can use whatever name you want. It's basically, so think of functions also, function names also as variable names. You can put any name, right? Whatever name you prefer, you can write, right? Let's say I wanted to create my very own click counter. Okay, guys? And what I want to do is, jitni baar maine click kiya, right? It should record the number of clicks. ठीक है? सबको समझ आ रहा है what I said? Okay. So inside this guy, what I'm going to do here is, I'm going to say, when you click this, right? When you click this एक बार, so the value should keep increasing, right? This is what I'm trying to say. Okay. So first of all, what we need to do here is, we need to have a variable, right? Because where else are we going to store the value, right? Right, guys? Is everyone able to understand? So what we have to do is, first we have to have a variable, right? So let me call my first variable. Can you give me a good name, Pallavi? What should I call it? The one variable to maintain the number of clicks. Shall I call it number of single clicks is equal to 0? Does this work? And I'll create another one, number of double clicks. Okay. ठीक है, both of them are 0, right? In every case, when click me is called, यहाँ पे what I have to do is, how many times, what should I do, Manjeet, when click me is called with this variable? Guys, what to do with this variable? Since I want to maintain a counter, what does plus plus do, Priyanka? Right? So either I can say number of clicks plus is equal to 1, right? Or I can say simply this, because both statements are equal. Make sense? Make sense, guys? Arey sab bolo na. Okay. Similarly, for double click, what I'll do again is, here I'll say number of double clicks plus plus, right? But now I also want to see this somewhere. So for now, I don't want to be very fancy. What I'll do is I'll just say console.log. Okay. And I'll say number of clicks, number of double clicks. Similarly, यहाँ पे भी I'll say console.log, number of single clicks, right? And just to make sure that I'm able to understand, because see, now what will happen is reload the page. That's fine. एक बार click करो, यहाँ पे 1 आ रहा है, 2 बार click करो, right? Something is happening, right? Okay. Now, just to understand कौन सा किससे आ रहा है, what we'll do is we'll just say in front of this guy number of single clicks. Yes, so that we'll be able to tell which one is coming from which one, right? यहाँ पे भी number of double clicks, right? Everyone understood what I have done? Correct? Okay, let's go back. So here, let's reload the page. Okay, I click this once. क्या आया? Number of single clicks 1. Tap this twice. Tap this twice. What happened? What happened, guys? किसी को समझ में आया? Bharti, can you tell what happened? So see, if I click this once, it's fine, right? If I click this twice, I get number of single clicks also increasing and the number of double clicks also increasing. अरे color change छोड़ो सुशील भाई, कहाँ? So what is happening is, see guys, at the end of the day, a double click is also a single click, right? What does double click mean? It just means that you made 2 single clicks very quickly, right? Right? So how can we solve this? How can we solve this? Saurabh, Ajay, anyone? How can we solve this? Does anyone have an answer? If condition. How can we solve using if condition? What is if condition? Number of double clicks is click by 2 minus 1. Okay. If press is single, then increment. Okay, let's think in code. Okay. So what is happening is when you click twice, this guy gets called, right? And this guy also gets called. Okay. Okay, guys. So if you look carefully here, when I click, I'm going to do double click. Okay. Tuck, tuck. What happened? Number of single clicks, 2 बार हो गया. Number of double clicks, 1 बार हुआ. Right? Right? But what I didn't want, I don't want single clicks to increase. Right? That's my problem. Are you getting my point? So if somehow I'm able to, when a double click happens, right? Whenever a double click happens, how many times single click would have been called, guys? 2, correct? So using this information, can I solve? Can I solve using this information? Right? How do I solve this? See, if a double click happens, I know for a fact कि single click 2 बार increment हो गया होगा. How do I just remove that effect? How do I remove that effect? If a double click is happening, minus minus, what will minus minus? Shall I decrement by 1 or shall I decrement by 2? Okay, so if I say number of clicks, number of single clicks is equal to minus is equal to 2, right? Assignment operator negative के साथ, right? Now let's try it out. Reload the page, double click this, double click this again, double click this again, right? Let's understand what is happening. I double click this, ठीक है? Reload करते हैं page को. I single click this, everything is fine. Okay. The moment I double click, what happens? Number of single click 1, number of single clicks 2, number of double clicks 1, right? Whenever a double click has happened, only then the value of single click will reduce, isn't it? It is working, Amit. Just that understand this. ये reduce 2 से कब होगा? It will reduce by 2 when this guy has happened twice, right? So basically console.log पे you will still keep seeing that, hey, this guy was called twice, right? So if I remove these console.logs, because at the end of the day, it's not the console.log that I'm worried about. I just want to maintain my counter, okay? Okay, let's understand this. Confused nahi hota. Okay, I have removed the console.log. Now what I'll start doing is, yahan pe, right? In this box, I'm going to maintain my single click counters. And in this box, item 3 wale mein, I'll maintain my double click counters. Okay, how to do that? First, we'll have to select it, right? So I'll just give them better names, right? Or I'll give them IDs, so which I can select from. I'll say ID is equal to item 1. And yahan pe ID is equal to item 2. Sorry, I need for item 3. So I'll go here, ID is equal to item 3. Okay. Go back to JS, right? In here, you mention, in case of click me, right? What you do is you say document dot get element by ID, right? And यहाँ पे से dot item 1, मतलब item 1 को के ID को, and I'll say inner text is equal to number of single clicks. ठीक है? Similarly, in here, I will say document dot get element by ID, item 3, inner text is number of double clicks. Of double clicks, right? Let's try it out. I click this one time, आपका ये 1 हो गया, right? I click this one more time, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I clicked it 6 times, 6 ho gaya. Now I will start with double clicking, right? How do I double click? I'll quickly click this. So this became 1, but this became 8, right? This became 8, right? And let's see what happens now. If I single click this reduced by 1, 7. Is everyone understanding the problem? सबको problem समझ में आ रहा है? So try to understand. It's not that this is not working. It has reduced it by 2. The problem is, guys, this guy only runs जब आप single click करते हैं. ठीक है? So while this guy will correct the value of that variable, right? इसके 2 बार टैप होने के बाद, right? That variable stands corrected. इस वेरिएबल की वैल्यू सही है, right? But this guy did not run ना. Now when you try to run this guy, वो पहले 6 हो गया था. It will just increment it to 7. So 8, what you will see is वो 8 से कम हो गया. So how can we fix this? It's very simple. We start updating this guy also here. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens now. एक बार क्लिक किया, 2, 3, 4, डबल क्लिक किया, दोबारा समझते हैं, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, राइट? डबल क्लिक करो अब, राइट? What happened? This became 1. एक बार और डबल क्लिक, right? एक बार और डबल क्लिक. It's not counting this one, right? मतलब it counted it initially because click was getting triggered, but it did not count this guy. And when you do single click, it gets counted very easily. Double click में only this guy is getting counted. Understood? Understood the problem and the solution? Okay. Now let's move to the next problem. Irfan, अब ठीक है? Are you able to understand now? I'm asking Irfan. ठीक है. Because yesterday you mentioned that you were having troubles with JS. Is that trouble now fine, Irfan? Or shall we do something else about it? Arey Baba, I will show you code. Hang on. Yes, what do you want to understand from the code? Tell me. Priyanka and Ankit, क्या नहीं समझ आया बताओ. Okay, let's understand the problem again. ठीक है? What do we have here? हमारे पास एक पेज है यहाँ पे guys. इसमें मैंने क्या लगाया हुआ था? I have 2 functions. This one runs on single click and this one runs on double click. ठीक है? When you click this once, okay, single click वाला function चला, number of single clicks increased by 1, और हमने उसको चेंज कर दिया यहाँ पे by doing document.getElementById. Just forget about the HTML part अभी, but हमने उसको अपडेट कर दिया. If I click once again, this variable का value will increase by 1 more and it will just keep changing, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. ठीक है? गलती से मुझसे डबल क्लिक हो गया, my bad. Right? Now just look at this code once and think. Any thoughts, guys? Just want to give you a few seconds. We understand. Does everyone understand the problem? नहीं आया तो बताओ। अजय क्या कौन सा सिंटैक्स नहीं समझ में आ रहा, बताओ। Ajay, which syntax is not you're not able to understand? I'll explain you that syntax. Arey Baba, what? See, what I have done here. What have I done here? I have two functions. One is click me and the other is click me too. Okay. So this you will learn when you learn arrays, right? So see, don't see, focus on the right things, guys. What we are trying to learn here is conditions. What we are trying to learn here is logic. It JavaScript, all of JavaScript you can't learn today, na? You don't have to write this code, you have to understand the concept first. This code will happen automatically. So forget about that. Concept wise, who has a problem? What we are trying to build here, who has a problem? Just tell me that. Guys, कुछ तो बोलो भाई. Clear है या नहीं? Guys, is it clear what we are talking here? Concept ही पूछ रहा हूं मैं. We'll come to the syntax. Don't worry about it. It will get decremented by this line, na, Sarfraz. Whichever line is calling it decrement, that line it will get decremented by. Okay. Chalo, ठीक है. Now that you understand this concept, of course it's line by line execution, Jerry. ये कैसा सवाल है? Why we get item 1 also in function click me too? Which is item 1? There is no item 1. Okay, you mean this one? Okay. Okay. Let me simplify it for you guys, all of you. Okay. Let's understand a simple version of it. Okay. What I have done here is मैं सब कुछ हटा दिया guys. There is no double click now. Okay. Let me explain it to you. What I have done here is, okay. There is an HTML in which there is a function called onClick. Okay. In this onClick, you need to provide अपनी JavaScript का कोई भी function, right? I have provided the function click me, right? So this is the click me function. Okay. This is the click me function. What it does is it maintains this variable. मतलब variable is already maintained, number of single clicks. Each time you click on this, it increments number of single clicks and it just changes the text, right? Item 1 जो था उसको select किया using this JavaScript and I changed its inner text. ठीक है? What that means is this. I do 1, तो वहां पे 1 आ गया. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. ठीक है? To make this look better, what we can do is we can just add 2 strings, right? So I can say click, number of times clicked, और प्लस, राइट? क्योंकि हमने सीखा है प्लस से क्या होता है, 2 strings just join together. Okay, so let's do this. Is this clear? Is this simpler? कोई डबल क्लिक है नहीं. ये समझ में आता है अजय? ये तो सबको समझ में आना चाहिए गाइस. अब तो वेरी सिंपल, राइट? Okay, now my question to all of you, right? And why am I doing this? Because I wanted to give you an example. अब मैं क्या करना चाहता हूं, guys, listen to this. I want this. बोर्ड दिख रहा है सबको? Are you guys able to see the board? Okay, so this is what I want. Okay, जैसे if you play computer games, so in speedometer, what happens is if the value is above, the color changes, right? So what I want to say is if the value is less than 2, right? I want green color. Green color. If the value is less than 2, green है. If the value is less than 5, which means अगर 2 से मतलब 3 चलो 6 ले लो, थोड़ा बड़ा रेंज कर लेते हैं। द कलर इज ऑरेंज, ऑरेंज कलर, राइट, एंड लेट्स से द वैल्यू इज ग्रेटर देन, मतलब 10 से कम है तो रेड कर देते हैं, लेट्स कॉल इट ब्लू, राइट, एंड एनीथिंग ग्रेटर देन 10, उसके बाद द वैल्यू इज ऑलवेज रेड, ठीक है। सो इफ वैल्यू इज ग्रेटर देन 10, राइट, इट्स ऑलवेज रेड, ठीक है। एंड विच कलर आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट, ये जो पूरा लिखा आ रहा है, नंबर ऑफ टाइम्स क्लिक्ड, इफ यू लुक ऑन माय स्क्रीन, the text color of this. Do we understand the problem, everyone? Problem समझ में आ रहा है सबको? Yes or no? Is there someone जिसको problem समझ नहीं आ रहा है? I'm saying a very simple thing. If the value is less than 10, तो green रखो. If the value is less than 5, यानी कि between less than 6, यानी कि between 2 and 6, तो green orange रखो. If the value is, आप समझ गए. I think you got it right. Okay. Cool. So basically this is a problem of conditions, right? Now let's understand our code, guys. हमारी कोड में क्या है, number of single clicks है, right, which changes each time that we click the button, ठीक है। What we essentially have to do is check कि भाई number of clicks का current value कितना है, right? So what I can say is if in JavaScript is used to give conditions, right? So I'm just going to put a condition, hey, if number of single clicks is less than 2, right? अगर number of single clicks less than 2 हैं, तो document, I'll just select that text, select that box again, dot get element by ID. You don't have to worry about this right now. This is just for illustration. Dot style dot color is equal to green. ठीक है, reload करते हैं, click करते हैं. What is the text color right now? Text color क्या है guys? Green. ठीक है, एक बार और क्लिक करते हैं, it's still green. एक बार और क्लिक करते हैं, it's still green, it's still green, right? And why is it keep on, मतलब why did it not change? It did not change because आपने एक बार color set कर दिया, but there was no one to reset that color, right? Right? So where can we reset that color? We should reset that color. We should reset that color somewhere else, right? So the next condition that we want to put, right? If number is less than 2, तो ये करो, right? I will just put this inside curly brackets. ऐसे लिखेंगे. Just some style, okay? If number of clicks is greater than 2, यानी कि 2 से बड़ा है, लेकिन the number of clicks is less than 5, right? How do I write this? हमने and सीखा था, so I'll say and number of clicks is less than 5, right? Then what you do? Then you make the color as orange, or let's say blue. सबको समझ में आया? If it's greater than 2 and less than 6, sorry, not 5, less than 6, right? Go here, reload, एक बार दबाओ, green है, दोबारा green है, 3 बार blue हो गया, 4, 5 blue. अब सबके लिए blue है because हमने और कोई conditions दी नहीं है, right? Right? Now what we want to say is, hey, if it's less than 10 but 6 से बड़ा है, right? So what I can say is, if number of single clicks is less than 10, is greater than 6, and as number of single clicks is less than 10, right? Right? तो क्या करो? Make this orange. Okay, So click this 1, 2, blue, orange, and always orange. Finally, simple condition, if number of clicks is greater than 10, right? What you do, पूरा write कर दो हमेशा के लिए, right? Right? So let's go on. Works. Chat is now open. Does it work? समझ में आया सबको? Pretty cool, right? Pretty cool, right, guys? Not very hard also, right? So the concept that I'm trying to introduce, guys, here is conditionality, right? Now let's understand इस जो conditionality हमने बनाई है, what is the problem with this? ठीक है, मैं बताता हूँ आपको क्या problem है. Guys, when you have so many ifs, right? तो कंप्यूटर को क्या करना पड़ता है? It will first read ये वाला if, right? It will first read ये वाला if, right? Then it will read ये वाला if, then it will read ये वाला if, and then it will also read ये वाला if, right? So it has to read 5 ifs, right? Imagine if there were 100 ifs, right? So basically we are making our program or our code inefficient, right? How can we make it inefficient? एक बार सोचते हैं. First of all, अगर speed एक particular range के बीच में है, right? If it's less than 2 है, right? तो ये सब बाकी चीजें चेक करने का पॉइंट ही नहीं है ना. If something is less than 2, it can definitely not be greater than 2 or less than 6, right? And basically all these things, right? So for making the code efficient, what JavaScript programmers who created JavaScript, they said, hey, if to theek hai, right? Let's create another thing which is called else if, right? Okay. So what that means is, if I put, if instead of if I make it else if, ऐसे लिखते हैं, else space if, right? It's only going to check one of it, right? अगर ये नहीं है, तभी ये check होगा, right? If this is not the case, let's understand this again. If this is the case, so well and good. If this is not the case, only then it will check this guy, right? And let's say if I place it everywhere, right? It will make these conditions, it will just read one of them, right? समझते हैं. It will check first, hey, is it this guy? मतलब क्या less than 2 है? Maybe it is less than 2, right? If it's less than 2, then you only read this and you ignore all of these conditions, right? If it's greater than 2 and less than 6, अगर इनके बीच में है, तो आप ये तो चेक करना ही पड़ेगा आपको. आप ये भी चेक करो, बट बाकी सारे इग्नोर कर दो, right? Right? Getting my point, everyone? Getting my point, everyone? ठीक है, but you should not believe what I say, right? Let's prove this. ठीक है, समझते हैं. What I'm going to do is, मैं in else if को दोबारा हटा रहा हूँ. I'm just making it if, right? And now inside each of these conditions, मैं यहाँ पे console.log भी डाल दूंगा so that I can see what is going on, right? Right? So in here, basically, I'm going to put a console.log. यहाँ पे in the range between 6 and 10, and finally in the range right. चलो रीलोड करते हैं. कुछ नहीं लिखा हुआ, सब में if लिखा हुआ है. if के अंदर दो चीजें एग्जीक्यूट हो रही है हर जगह, right? So let's try this out. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'll click this. So it said in the range less than 2. Okay, now in the range between 2 and 6, right? Abhi bhi 2 and 6, abhi bhi 2 and 6. Now in the range 6 and 10, right? This is how it is basically executing, right? What we wanted to see, guys, is क्या ये वाली condition evaluate भी हो रही है? Getting my point? If this condition is getting evaluated, आप इस चीज को लिखो, right? But ये condition तो evaluate भी नहीं होनी चाहिए, right? We don't want this guy to get evaluated, right? And how can we check if this guy is getting evaluated? Is there a way? क्या मैं check कर सकता हूँ whether this condition was being checked by JavaScript compiler or not? Anyone? Any thoughts? That's a very bad answer. Okay, but we don't know about that. शिवम, तो कोई point नहीं है. But Amit, variable तो if के अंदर होता है ना. If के अंदर it will not, anyway not get in, right? Basically, this is not getting executed. Only this thing is where you can check. अब यहाँ पे कैसे check करोगे? That makes no sense, Shano. सोच के बोलो. I'm saying if you write if, right? The problem with this code is every condition needs to be checked. This 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 needs to be checked. Rajat is saying print above if in second if. That makes no sense. बिना सोचे समझे बोल रहे हो यार. Up now you guys are showing off. If else ladder, switch, big words. Unmute you guys. Okay. The problem is, so now, right? When you write ifs like this, okay? Each if acts as an individual statement. So this is one whole thing, this is one whole thing, this is one whole thing, this is one whole thing. They need to be evaluated individually. क्योंकि JS JavaScript compiler को ये नहीं पता ना कि आपने if के अंदर क्या लिखा है. It does not understand these things. Basically, it will just look at this logic when it has to, right? So the problem with writing code like this is all these statements, this statement, this statement, and this statement, right? These three statements also need to be evaluated जब आपकी condition less than 2 है, which makes no sense because if it's less than 2, it cannot be between 2 and 6. It cannot be between 6 and 10, and it can definitely not be greater than 10, right? Right? So what we need to do is, instead of using if, we need to use if else ladder, as some people are calling it. इसका क्या मतलब होता है guys? इसका मतलब होता है if अगर मैं एक continuous series बना दूं, मैंने लिखा ये if और मैंने इसके बाद लिख दिया ये else if, right? मैंने लिखा ये if, इसके बाद मैंने लिख दिया else if और मैंने ये यहाँ पे भी else if लिख दिया, right? So it means that if one of them gets executed, right? If it's less than 2, तो JavaScript इन तीनों को चेक भी नहीं करेगा, right? If it's this, then इन दोनों को चेक नहीं करेगा, right? And if it's this, then इन दोनों को चेक नहीं करेगा, right? Understood? Guys, did you guys understand what I just said? Right? So else the advantage of if, else if over if ये है that if you write else if statements after if statements, only one of them is going to get executed. So it's a more efficient way of writing code. ठीक है? Now, if can either be coupled with else if, right? Or it can be coupled with something called as else, right? हाँ, I'm coming to that, तरुण. मुझे बताने दो ना भाई, else नहीं आता अभी लोगों को, रुको. Right? So what you need to understand, abhi, is hey, अगर इनके अलावा कुछ भी हो, right? So we can just say else, right? So like there is if होता है, else if होता है, और एक चीज होती है guys else. Else का क्या मतलब है? Else basically means anything apart from that if, right? तो इसका ये मतलब है if anything happens apart from these conditions, ये वाली चीज कर देना, right? Right? So हम यहाँ पे क्या बोल रहे हैं? Just understand this. मैं यहाँ पे लिख रहा हूँ this happened, ठीक है, ताकि हमें दिख जाए. पेज इज रीलोडेड, ध्यान से देखना गाइस, ठीक है. नंबर ऑफ टाइम्स क्लिक 1, ठीक है. अभी देखो यहाँ पे क्या लिखा है, सब पढ़ो यहाँ पे क्या लिखा है. what is it saying? This happened. ऐसा क्यों हुआ, कोई मुझे बता सकता है? When the value was 2, right? When the value was 2, it console log this. मतलब इसमें से कोई भी if नहीं चला. ऐसा क्यों हुआ? राहुल, अमित, the smart guys. Yes, it is because of condition. Perfect, Shanu. That's a good argument. That's a good thing to say. Perfect, Ajay. इनमें से कोई भी कंडीशन ऐसी नहीं है जहां पे आप 2 के लिए चेक कर रहे हैं. ए भाई राहुल, कुछ भी आप 2 के लिए कहीं पे भी नहीं चेक कर रहे. यू आर चेकिंग फॉर लेस देन 2, यू आर चेकिंग फॉर ग्रेटर देन 2, बट नो वे यू आर चेकिंग फॉर 2. Yes, and that's why this is very bad code, right? Edges पे it will falter. देखते हैं और दिखाता हूं मैं आपको. 3 पे चल रहा है, 4 पे चल रहा है, 5 पे भी ठीक है, 6 पे देखो क्या हुआ. This happened, right? So basically 6 is not getting taken care of anywhere else, right? Why that is happening? Why that is happening, guys? Because there is no condition again which is checking for 6. Right? So how do I take care of these edges? Vishal, Sweta, Ajay, anyone? Perfect. Greater than equal to. So what we should say is, if the number of clicks is less than या फिर equal to 2, तो green रखो. If the number of clicks are greater than 2 and less than or equal to 6, तो blue रखो. If they are greater than 6, यानी कि 7 है और 10 तक हैं, राइट, तो ऑरेंज रखो. 10 से बड़े हैं तो रेड रखो, राइट. क्लियर? नॉट नो श्वेता, दैट इज अ बैड सॉल्यूशन. थिंक अबाउट व्हाट यू जस्ट सेड. हाँ, दैट इज फाइन. सो नाउ विल दैट एल्स एवर रन, गाइस? क्या वो एल्स कभी चलेगा? नहीं चलेगा. एल्स कब चलता है? एल्स तब चलता है व्हेन दैट कंडीशन, वो कंडीशन कभी आई नहीं. मतलब ये वाला भी इफ ना चले, ये भी ये ना चले, ये भी ना चले, तो आएगा वो, राइट? सो व्हाट इट मींस इज, मान लो आपने अभी इसको 0 से स्टार्ट किया था. लेट्स से, ठीक, सो ओके, कैन ऑल ऑफ दीज एवर बी फॉल्स? हो ही नहीं सकता, राइट? बिकॉज यू हैव कवर्ड द एंटायर सैंपल स्पेस. आपने बोला लेस देन इक्वल टू 2, राइट? आपने यहाँ पे 2 से 6 के बीच में कर लिया, 6 से 10 के बीच में कर लिया, फिर आपने बोल दिया ग्रेटर देन 10. अब infinite numbers are greater than 10, so this guy never happened, right? So even if you go to, अरे loop कहाँ से है तरुण? Where is the loop in this? बटन क्लिक कर रहे हो तो चल रहा है. There's no loop यार. What are you saying? Okay, समझ में आया guys सबको? What is if, what is else if, and what is else, right? अब थोड़ा सा सिंप्लीफाई कर देते हैं. लेट्स से मैं ऐसा कोड लिखना चाहता था जहां पे अगर, चलो इस सबको हटा देता हूं. I just want to say, hey, अगर 2 से कम है तो ग्रीन, ठीक है, उसके अलावा कुछ भी है, आई डोंट केयर, तो रेड. हाउ डू आई डू दैट? इफ इज लेस देन इक्वल टू 2 तो ग्रीन, राइट? सो ग्रीन मतलब कोड लिख देंगे उसके लिए. उसके अलावा एनीथिंग हैपेंस, रेड. So essentially you just need to have one else statement यहाँ पे. तो सिर्फ एक if condition दी, बाकी एक else condition दे दी, हो गया सब कुछ. समझ में आया guys? Guys, are we clear with if and else in JavaScript? Was it hard? Was it hard? Is JavaScript hard so far? Yeah, I didn't think so. Cool. My explanation is fantastic. Thank you. Okay, so we know if and else. Okay, now, if the number is even, right? If the number is even, right? ये सब चीजें ठीक है, ये सब चीजें चलने दो उसकी जगह पे. But if the number is even, right? Then I want you to what do I say? Text का size बड़ा कर देंगे, something. How do I do that? तो सिंपल बात ये है कि how to, अरे शिवम, that I also know बाबा. लगा, हाँ अमित, वो नहीं पूछ रहा मैं. कोड में कैसे लिखोगे? Where will you put that condition is the question, sir. There is nothing as LF. Please, guys, keep your knowledge about other languages aside, please. Repeat question, ठीक है? The question is, if ये सब रहने दो, color and all these things, but I want another condition. Hey, if the number is divisible by 2, right? Then कुछ और भी करना है. Where do I add that if? कहाँ पे डालोगे अमित? if हैं, बहुत सारे else if हैं. See, it's very simple, right? Can we assume, can we say that this guy, ये हमेशा चलता है? Is this true or not? आपको करना तो वहीं पे पड़ेगा ना. So this guy always runs, है ना? पहला चेक तो हमेशा ही होता है, right? So if I put that condition inside this, it should work, right? So either आप इसको यहाँ पे अगर आपने and करके लिख दिया, that's a mistake, right? Because then ये green होना will also get dependent on that, right? It will get dependent on कि भाई less than 2 है और odd भी है और even भी है. अगर आपने और यहाँ पे यूज कर दिया, let's say you use और यहाँ पे, then what happens? Then basically when that guy, basically when let's say it जब वो 6 होगा, right? तो JavaScript will first check this guy. Hey, is it less than 2? Right? Or it's an even number, right? But problem समझो ना उसमें. Let's say श्वेता problem समझो. Let's say वो 12 आ गया नंबर, तो आप तो इस वाले कंडीशन के अंदर घुस जाओगे, right? Right? And you will mark the color as green, but 12 का कलर तो रेड होना चाहिए. So Amit is saying सब की if के अंदर एक और if डाल दो. नहीं, कितनी बार लिखोगे? See, a simple solution to this is, we know for a fact that this guy always gets checked, right? But here what you should do is, you should on the top एक और if डाल दो, right? If statements guys individually चलते हैं, if और else if statements जब आप साथ में डाल देते हैं, they work together, कि भाई अगर मैं चल गया, so you guys don't need to run. If I run, you guys don't need to run, right? But that was the initial problem, right, Amit? जब आप बहुत सारे ifs डाल रहे थे, all of them had to run, right? But in this case, you're trying to compare apples with oranges, right? So where apple is number कितना बड़ा है, किस range में है, and an orange is number even है या नहीं, right? So the way to do this is यहाँ पे ये चीज डाल दो, if number of orange number of single clicks %2 is equal to 0, because when this happens, it means the number is even, because even numbers, when you take their remainder with 2, the answer is 0. ठीक है guys, clear? प्रियंका समझ में आ गया? सबको समझ में आ गया एकदम? ठीक है, स्टाइल जो भी चेंज करना है कर लो यार, वो तो दैट्स अप टू यू. डॉक्यूमेंट डॉट बहुत सारे स्टाइल्स हैं यार, आई डोंट नो व्हिच वन टू चूज, राइट? बट द you got the point, right? The point is just do font weight is equal to 400 something, right? And it did not work, but that's okay, right? We are trying to understand if and else. Boulder, this will work, is equal to boulder. Yep, now it's working. So for every even number, it will be boulder, right? Zoom कर लेते हैं. Boulder. But अब change ही नहीं हुआ. The problem is odd number के लिए हटाना भी तो पड़ेगा, right? Right? तो यहाँ पे एक else लगा दो. The normal value is 400. ठीक है? If else clear हो गया दोस्तों सबको? चलो चला के देख लेते हैं. Nice. अरे वाह. Bold, not bold, bold, not bold, bold, not bold. Perfect. Perfect. Happy everyone? Okay. Now one more thing, because we are having so much fun, I am going to make this auto clickable. Okay. So what I'm going to do is बहुत simple है, ठीक है? ध्यान से देखना. ये जो click me है, right? मैं यहाँ पे एक loop लगाने वाला हूँ और let I is equal to 0, I is less than 20, I plus plus, ठीक है? And I'll just call click me loop के अंदर, ठीक है? What this will do is it will call click me 20 times. समझ में आ गया सबको? Yes. Click me will be called 20 times, so that should be fun. Okay. So I click this. Matlab, there's nothing to click. It will automatically run, right? It's saying there is some problem. So what it is saying is 400 उसको समझ में नहीं आ रहा है. That's okay. It is a string basically. Right? And you basically need to run this code. But ठीक है, I think we got the point, right? So yeah, I'll not do this abhi. It will just confuse people. Done. Can we take input from number? जैसे हम दूसरी किसी भी लैंग्वेज में करते हैं. Yes, you can. Of course you can, right? But since you're using JavaScript आप browser पे हो, you would rather make an input box, right? जो हमने फॉर्म में सीखा था, and उससे values पढ़ लेंगे. So yes, it's doable. देखेंगे बाद में कैसे करते हैं. The agenda for today is understanding if and else. Is it clear? कहाँ पे करना है और ऑपरेटर अंकित पूरा बताओ. Ankit, where do you want me to put the or operator? Can we do or operator? This does not make sense. कहाँ पे करना चाहते हो? बताओ तो सही. You say something फिर बोलते ही नहीं हो. Where do you want to put the or operator? बताओ. Ankit, I'm actually waiting for you to answer. कहाँ पे डालना है और ऑपरेटर बताओ तो सही. He means to say वो even वाले के लिए. Is Sweta right? आप यही बोलना चाहते हो अंकित? If you put an or यहाँ पे, right, and you just write this. जैसे आपने ये सेम चीज यहाँ पे डाल दिया. मुझे एक बात बताओ. What is going to be the problem with this guy, with this one, right? ये कंडीशन हर बार जब वो इवन, सो बेसिकली इफ कब चलता है, जब ओवरऑल कंडीशन ट्रू इवैल्यूएट होती है, राइट? नाउ सिंस यू पुट एन और, वो हर बार जब भी एक और नंबर, जब एक इवन नंबर आएगा वो ट्रू इवैल्यूएट हो जाएगी, राइट? सो दिस गाय विल एंड अप रनिंग, है ना? अब बिकॉज दिस इज एन इफ एल्स लैडर, अगर ये वाला इफ चल गया तो बाकी कुछ चलेगा ही नहीं, राइट? राइट? सो लेट्स से आपके पास 14 था अंकित, राइट? तो 14 का कलर टेक्निकली रेड होना चाहिए था, बट हाउ जावास्क्रिप्ट विल वर्क इज, इट विल चेक, हे क्या नंबर 2 से छोटा है? नहीं, वो तो नहीं है. और क्या नंबर डिविजिबल बाय 2 है? इज 14 डिविजिबल बाय 2? यस, तो कलर ग्रीन कर दो और बाकी सब कुछ चलेगा ही नहीं. इज दिस क्लियर? अंकित समझ में आया पक्का? दोबारा भी बता सकता हूं. आई एम आस्किंग अंकित. अरे ओके मतलब समझ में आया या नहीं? से यस और नो. ओके कूल, दैट मेक्स सेंस. ठीक है. Do you guys want me to pause here for today? I know concepts were new, so don't want to overdo it also, right? Guys, सबको समझ में आ गया ना? Did everyone understand? Please say yes. I try to make it as simple as possible. Complex है JavaScript, but थोड़ा time लगेगा. Okay? Are we good? Send code. I will send code. डबल क्लिक वाला छोड़ दो. आई रियलाइज्ड लेटर कि थोड़ा कॉम्प्लेक्स हो रहा है. अगली बार थोड़ा जेएस और सीख लेते हैं, फिर कर लेंगे, राइट? Git commit -m, let's call it learning if else if. Take the code. Can we use this if at the end the size one after the color wala? Of course ना मित. देखो दोनों conditions एक दूसरे के वो, दोनों conditions are disjoint, right? As we say in the world of mathematics, one condition is not dependent on other, right? एक if else का structure अपना चलेगा, right? ये if else अपना चलेगा, इसको ऊपर वाले से कोई, इसको ऊपर वाले की existence के बारे में पता ही नहीं है. Please take lecture 7 to 9. प्रतीक सबके लिए चल नहीं पाएगा that. मतलब if you guys can reach out to Newton School people, उनको बोल दो 7 to 9. I'll do 7 to 9. But I think it will not. Okay, see guys, if you have this feedback, take this to Newton School, folks. I will not be able to. Okay, see, most of you have no, so maybe we can do some sort of a voting or something. Yes, many of you. Oh, you guys. Oh, today's job registered. Okay, so how many of you guys have full-time jobs? Just trying to get to know you better. Oh, Priyanka, you have a full-time job. Sai, you have a full-time job. Oh God. Pankaj, Piyush ka bhi hai, Jitin. So whether you have a full-time job, what do you guys do? What do you work on? What is your background? क्या job है आप लोग का? I am AutoCAD drafter. Okay. What about you, Pallavi? सब अपना job profile लिखो ना. Is someone a software engineer or not? Is that for now? Supply chain, accountant, non-technical, mechanical design engineer, geographer. Wow. Tally operator.